All right, there we go. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you are not familiar with the Den, well, the Den, in my opinion, is the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why I feel like that is because of all the wonderful people, the Den folk in the Den, you guys in the chat, you guys who call in when we open up the line. This is going to be an interesting conversation tonight. I've brought receipts. That's what the kids are calling it these days. Well, not exactly, but it's an example of something. And it's actually, this is a topic I've been wanting to discuss, and y'all are going to think it's going to be one way, but it's actually going to be another. Because it's something I've talked to people about. Not like I just did a poll recently, but just, throughout my lifetime. And I find it very unfortunate a lot of times. We'll talk about are black women really bad moms? And I know what you're going to say. Hey, it's not just black women, Honcho. God damn it, there's bad moms of every kind. And you would be right. You would be absolutely right. There is no monopoly on terrible parenting. But there's kind of some specific things I'm going to get into. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Hey, if you haven't, make sure you hit that like button. I'm glad you're here. Again, it is my honor. It is my privilege, and most of all, my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys. It's supposed to be Monday through Friday, but it seems like it's been Monday through Thursday the last few nights. And then the weekends, I have a weird thing going on the weekends. We'll get into it. It's I try to relax and just kind of, do a very short technology fast, I guess, but I really don't. So, you know, we're going to talk about these things, and like I said, let's see what we got in the chat, though, man. Like I said, because again, it is about you guys, and we're going to
Dan
talk about
Strong
what's
donated
going on.
$5. You might need a 10-minute time limit tonight.
Oh man, yeah, definitely, Dan. I think we're going to have to definitely going to have to enforce the rules this evening because I know people don't want to get in and share their thoughts on this topic. And again, you know, occasionally I have ulterior motives with some of these conversations, but like I said, we're going to get into all of it. And I'm glad that you're here with me. Let's see what we got going on. I see John K. Grace. What's the motherfucking deal, Mr. John, Miss Grace, and Miss M. Grace? Always a pleasure to be graced by the ladies' grace. I'm glad you're here, Miss Bell. The bell has rung. Ronald Isley, I think, confuses people, because he actually calls in on occasion. And I don't think they realize, that that's the same individual in the chat. And I think people get confused because of the name. But what's the motherfucking deal? Ronald Isley, Jason S. Two very crazy names.
Ho donated $100 through Super Chat. Sorry I missed the sauce today. This me making up for it. Enjoy the Den Honcho.
Well, goddamn, Mr. Real Talk. I appreciate that love. Y'all, man, Real Talk's been showing a whole lot of love. And I don't know, goddamn it. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, sir. And hey, we'll definitely be stirring up a lot more sauce. So catch the next one. But I definitely appreciate the love. I definitely lost track of where I was too. Yeah, two names that I won't mention. Sweetberry is here. Is it just me, or maybe Sweetberry? I guess the thrill of being at the top. Maybe it went away because after we've renewed the pistachios, it seemed like Sweetberry might be pulling a Rashid on us. She might be cheating on us with another chat group, y'all. She ain't been as feisty for the pistachios, it seems, as of late. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't been paying as much attention. Let me see. Jess Sarah, what's the motherfucking deal? How are you, ma'am? How are you this evening, Miss Jess Sarah? NJ Cowboys fan. I think we're gonna be all right. Rob Myers, what's the motherfucking deal? I don't know. And for those people who on the thumbnail, okay, like I don't really know who those people are. All right, I'm gonna tell you why they're there. It is Miss Meat's fault. Okay. One of the first videos I ever saw when I tuned into Miss Meat's channel had to do with the lady. I think the lady on the far right. I think that's Tokyo Tony. and then in center of the image is goddamn, what's her, Black China, right? And so these women were having like I guess you could call it a conversation or whatever. It was on a reality TV show, and it was terrible. It was like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. You know how to say you can't unsee stuff? Like, if I like had a list of like the top 5 things I could unsee, it would definitely be that. And I've seen some crazy shit, but that would be on that list. But anyway, so I put them on there because it made me think about that. Dakota, what's the motherfucking deal? Dita Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's get to the roll call, Honcho. Jen, Footballer 503, Strong and Grand, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal? Marie, the lovely Miss Marie, how are you this evening? Let's see. Oh, aka King Keith in the building this evening, y'all. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Keep strolling. Make sure I want to catch everybody. Let me see. What did I miss? Let me see. Heidi. How I know I was tripping? No. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna leave it alone, Heidi. I can certain jokes you just can't tell. You want to tell, but I'm just not gonna tell. But definitely appreciate the love. Yeah, shout out to Ride AK. Culture, the Dawn of the Discord in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? Okay. If I missed you, I ain't dish you, man. Let's get into it. I know people who are like new to this channel, like, man, fuck this guy. He takes so fucking long. Talking to all the people in the chat. I want to know what the fuck. Get to the fuck. Like, I know that turns people off, but it is a part of what we do, and I fucking love it because, again, like I say, y'all make this so worthwhile, and it's about y'all. So thank y'all for being here. I got receipts. I want to make sure this plays properly and everything. So I'm gonna put the headphones on. We're not taking calls yet. I want to bring something up, and this is the video that made me 335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? This is a video that made me think, man. Well, not the only video that made me, but it had me reminiscing about some conversations that I had, and I had been saying I wanted to talk about this in the den, and I wasn't sure when. And then not sounding like certain other individuals who do, who have known for particular sticks on their platforms, it's like that's not my thing. But this was a conversation I wanted to have because someone brought it up to me some months back. And so when I saw this video, shout out to Nikki napping motherfucking Nicole. She's probably taking a nap right now as we're speaking. 17, what's the motherfucking deal? Exactly. I don't want to be that. I definitely don't want to be that guy. And so I want to show this, and I hope the audio doesn't jump. I may have to pause and replay it or whatever. Hey, you know what? Let's just get into it. It's really about making sure you guys see what's going on, and you'll understand why I'm upset. I actually trimmed a little bit of the beginning of the video off because I didn't want to play the whole thing, so it's probably about 2 minutes or so. But it's the end of the video that I really want you to watch because that's kind of the problem, and that's what I want to talk about more. So again, I clickbait you guys in a little bit with the title, not really, but just a little bit. And so I want to talk about it. Okay. No, don't do that. And let's do that, yeah. And but again, while I'm pulling this up, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I kind of stretched it out. All your friends, fuck my nigga dick. All your friends. Could y'all hear the sound on that? I wasn't sure if y'all could hear the sound on that. I don't know if it automatically played or not. Okay, so we're gonna pull this up, and I want to. Let me see. I think I need to be able to monitor this so I can hear it too. I want to be able to make sure. So if sometimes you just like certain things a little bit. I should have set it up just a little bit better. Let's see. Oh, well, darn! Right there in my fucking face. What Honcho, you're a fucking idiot. All right. Let's try this, and I hope it doesn't fucking echo and fuck everything up. But we're about to find out. So I want to watch this video, right? And again, it's the end of it that made me think, because just listen. Let's just watch it, and then we'll check it out, right? We'll check it out.
All your friends, suck my nigga dick. Ain't nothing about this shit. I heard her want to suck that nigga dick. You said? Yeah. You said? No, said that hoe don't call you, don't keep your dick stuck in hoes. Don't get out of my way. So who? Name somebody that ever did something towards you. Run your name. You weren't talking. Name. When have I ever fucked anybody that you ever fucked? When have I ever sucked a dick? When have I ever did anything? You said it first. You said my nigga cheating on me. And I put it on Facebook. So you know more about my niggas than me. So how you know more about my niggas than me? Shit, you. Like I said, every hoe wanna suck every dick they see me suck. But not me. Not your daughter. How they dick taste so? Damn hoe. How they dick taste so? How they dick taste so? Want me find you another dick to suck? Want me find you another dick to suck? You said. Now you holding on to that. You in the nigga thing. You holding on to that one. Dumbass bitch. You in the nigga thing. So the world can see how your sad ass is. Want me find you another dick to suck? I gotta find all you hoes dick to suck. So everybody from hustling to suck. I gotta find all these hoes. I see why your ass ain't went nowhere. They these hoes dick to suck. You said it. Ain't no posting. They don't suck hustling flow dick. I'm not playing. I don't about you hoes. They niggas. These niggas dick to suck. They ain't got no more dick to suck off me. This the only thing, bitch. She blamed me for every fucking thing that happens to her. Every fucking relationship. Every all that. Do y'all hear this? How sad she is. This is why my mentality is so fucked up. Yeah, you wanna know why? Cause we can't live in that home with bitches like this. Yes, the world needs to know. Yes, the world needs to wake up. These black mothers out here raising with these pathetic ass mindsets. These black women out here fucking harming us. These black women out here fucking, look at this mindset. I'm raised by a bitch with this type of mindset, and y'all wonder why these females out here the way they is. Y'all wonder, show lives. Y'all wonder why anybody that's born between the ages of 1996 to the 2000s, y'all wonder why these little girls like this? Y'all wonder why these females like this? Y'all wonder, I'm 21 years old. They have been blaming me since I was 7 years old about fucking niggas. This shit been breaking around me since I was young.
Okay. So you know, it's really sad, actually. You know, talk a little shit. I talk a lot of shit. I do about what's going on in the world, but when you really sit back and think about it, you know, I like to laugh a lot. You laugh to keep from being upset about shit, you know. But a lot of this stuff really is fucking sad. Because you got to think about, and I know a lot of people will say, well, it's not all of them. It's correct. It's not all. And it may not even be most. But it's enough to have a significant impact. You know, I feel bad for the girl. Because how do you 21 is still relatively young. You know, you're getting out, depending on where you're from and, you know, how you live. But for most, it's relatively young, you know, and you're legally able to drink and do shenanigans. But to go on through life and to have something called a mother, you know, that you look for, expect to nurture when you see these mothers on the movies, TV shows, or whatever. And you just realize, well, my mom is not quite like that. You know, your mom is more like Peggy Bundy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So I really feel bad. And, you know, seeing things like that, one, make me very thankful. You know, even though my parents split when I was, 9, 10. And I was with my mom as a single mom. I'm like, I never went through anything like that with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing like that. Some of the situations I've even seen my homeboys, my partners in, nothing like that. I've talked to other black, other black women about their relationships, because I think it's something significant between a mom and her daughter, because as a son, especially in the black community, you're pushed to go out at an early age and, take care of the house, become the man of the house. But, when you're 15 or 16, there's only a couple of things you can do. Well, 16, you're legal enough to work. That's not your job. That's not what you're supposed to do. Again, this is not everywhere. It is what it is. He says it's not. I mean, I don't know. He said I don't have the numbers. All right, and so I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying. Heidi's terrible, But, and the sad thing about it is that I've talked to women I've known personally, women I've been with, interacted with, talked with, from friends from school, college mates, whatever you want to call it, and in various scenarios, when you just talk about it, you hear little things like this. We've talked about what's the word? Not arrogant. What's the word they use now? Narcissistic. We talked about narcissistic parenting, right? And how that impacts children. And it seems to me like I don't say it doesn't happen with women and their sons. But you see a lot of other odd dynamics with that. But it's like women and their daughters. It's more competition. You know what I'm saying? And I agree. Just there's definitely a lot. Like I said, I don't think it's, again, like I say, exclusive to the black community. But I don't understand the mindset, because I've always been of the belief that, as a parent, as you have children, that your hope was for them to be better than you, to take your name, whether it be, girl, boy, whatever, your lineage, whatever it may be, and have a better life than you. But what I've seen is that's not always the case. A lot of times it's not the case. And there's a lot of selfish parents out there. We've talked about the mom who, I forgot who that was again. I always forget who it was. His mom gave him an IOU, or not IOU, but basically gave him an itemized statement of why he owed her $1 million as soon as he got drafted. There's a lot of moms out there using kids as checks and things like that. But once those kids get older and they have their own personalities and things of that nature, how do those relationships work? And you wonder. And some of them are real fucked up, like this one. It's like, how do you function in an environment like that? People like that are the people. Like, I feel like, people who get out there and they get around a lot. I think those are people who tend to either have, some self-esteem issues, or looking for love because they don't really know what it is, and so they're getting these abusive things. That's why these kind of relationships exist, because they have it at home, and they go and find dudes who treat them the same way. Then again, it passes down to the kids, and it's just dysfunction, And too much dysfunction has a big impact. And so, and honestly, when I first was thinking about this topic, I'm just like,
Louis the 17th donated $1 through Super Chat. It only takes a minority of 5% to 10% within the society to affect the 90% to 95% majority. Bolsheviks, Jacobins, Hitlerites, Young Turks, etc.
I'm trying to make sure. Oh, I'm so the fucking screen. Yeah, you've been an asshole. You've been a real asshole thing. Okay, there it goes. Appreciate the love, Louis 17. I always think of that fucking pimp dude. And so, if it only takes a minority of 5 to 10%, right, to affect the 90 to 95, well, if that is the case, sir, well, the American black community is fucked. Because it's significantly greater than 10%. I mean, if I'm, and let's say I'm not being too far out there. I might be on the low end. Like I might be pulling a D Love right now. I might be on the low end of the numbers. You know what I mean? Like I try to be generous. Like I said, I think you gotta separate some things. You gotta separate like ghetto from middle class, because like middle class black people can have some similar tendencies to ghetto black people. So I think you got to separate that when we're talking about certain stuff. So I think, I don't know, when we get vague and shit. But what I'm saying is like, to get the proper numbers, like I would say like, I would say 30 to 40% of 30 to 40% of the black population is niggas, and it might be more than that. But appreciate the love for your talk, man. But that's the thing. Like, and it's what I tell y'all about niggas and the difference between niggas and black. Like, niggas don't want to improve, and so this is why I tell
just
folks
Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. Louis has a mean Google search game. Smiley face. Smiley face.
I got some thoughts on that, and I know I'm kind of all over the place with some of the things going on, but you just kind of tell people like you can't get behind everything, and you kind of have to be careful. Appreciate the love, Miss Just Sarah. But here's the deal: I want to know your thoughts about that video, the clip that I showed. I want to know your thoughts about that. Do you see this as a problem? Have you been in a situation like this? Because like I said, I've talked to women who've had these kind of relationships with their mothers, and specifically their mothers. And I'm not saying that there aren't bad dads, there aren't, toxic, families that are with nuclear families or whatever. Like, what is it? One bad apple spoils the bunch. But when the whole bunch is spoiled, it's that one bad apple is the bunch, I guess. It can be an issue, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I want to take the conversation this evening, knowing your thoughts on that. Do you think, again, this is specifically a black issue? Have you seen this issue amongst other races? Have you seen it? Do you think this is a class issue? Or is it just something with women in general? Because women are naturally competitive. And so maybe a woman who has got a little older and she already blames, because I've seen this, like I say, the girl in the video said that her mom had been blaming her since she was like 7 years old, right? And so my thing is like 7 years old to 21, what is that, 14 years, your mom has been blaming you for her relationships of 7. That's disgusting, right? That's fucking sick. If you think the men that you're bringing around have any interest in a fucking 7-year-old, then you shouldn't be with them. Like, it ain't even about not coming around. It's like you shouldn't be fucking with them. Like, even if you think that. I think the mom accused her of wanting one or some of her dude or something like that, and so they had they kind of had a beef. And like I say, this is not to say the daughter was 100% innocent, because she was calling her slow and she was arguing too. But it's like again, it's toxic, because there was a couple other videos I wanted to find and I could not find. One was about a daughter and a mom, really brawling on a front porch over a fucking dude. And another one was that I saw a while back, and this was I think she was probably in her early teens, or not early teens, maybe mid to late teens. And basically, she's in the kitchen and she's recording. And she's telling her mom, hey, I think your boyfriend snuck in my room again last night. And she's telling her mom about it, right? And her mom basically starts going off on her and blaming her. And, well, you shouldn't be wearing this and you shouldn't be doing this. And, you try to take my man. Like,
Louis the 17th donated $1 through Super Chat. Google? That was all from memory. Hussy.
Oh. Hussy. I haven't heard that in a long time. I'm going to have to get to the root of that. But, and so that's kind of my thing. It's that these women, and even if you did believe that, like, again, and I understand it would get difficult if you're talking marriage and all some other stuff. But in some of these situations, picking an outsider over your flesh and blood, And this is not to say that, hey, look, some people got shit, something like that. Those outsiders or the shitty people are some related to somebody too. So yes, there are, I'm not saying that just because there's your kinfolk that they're right. But some of these women don't even want to hear it. Like, they start up a situation. Again, you don't know the background. You can say, hey, this kid might be an habitual liar. But it's hard to believe that. But again, we do live in America. We do live in a attention-craving society. Anything could be anything. It could be the setup and could get a lot of attention. But appreciate the love. Louis 17, appreciate the love. Ms. Me, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate the love. And so my thing is, like, it's a tough situation. And again, the cycle continues. So it's like, where does the blame lie? Like, and I'm not saying the blame, say it's such and such's fault or it's so-and-so's fault, but I'm saying this to say, like, if we can figure out the root of the problem, can we resolve it, or are we too far gone? Has it been too many generations? I mean, have they spread too far and wide? I have my own opinions on this, but I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear y'all's opinions on this. So again, I thank all of you for being here. It should be extremely interesting conversation. And I think all of you wonderful people should definitely participate, whatever is in your thoughts or on your mind. Give me 1 second. Let me...
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. Who you calling hussy biatch?
What is it going down in the Super Chat?
Dollar bills, y'all.
Oh, shit. Miss Stephanie Paul, I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Dancing Carlson, this is crazy. They love this most rated show in a while. Oh, stay tuned, Heidi. We're only getting started. Strap in. I was going to say something. I've had a few jokes tonight that that I've been wanting to say. That I'm just going to hold on tonight. Interesting. I've been talking for a minute. So let's see. Let me see. Yes, this is the one. Give me what I need. And let's pull this up real quick right here. Here. Okay, cool. Here. And Josephine, Johnny. Lord have mercy. God, these hoes fighting and cursing. But, and like I say, this isn't even the worst thing that I've seen. But I say this is just something about this thing made me... What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Oh, you got Professor Trill.
All right. Professor Trill, what is on your mind, sir? How are you doing this evening, Professor Trill?
I'm pretty tired. I apologize to the rest of the den folk. I decided to go first tonight because I got to go to bed pretty quickly. So I'm just going to throw my little 2 cents in, and I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do. I'll listen to y'all while I fall asleep.
Okay.
I know exactly where the blame lies on this one. And it's not on neither one of them, Honcho.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Where's the daddy at?
Interesting.
Where's he at? He's supposed to... See, you won't have these problems.
Just Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat.
You're a lot less likely to have these problems if her father was around.
Face,
so she wouldn't have to worry about her mama
face.
bringing other men around.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Not to say that the mama or the daughter are completely innocent, but it's on the men here. It's called a spade.
Okay. So, with a situation like this, do you see a resolution, or is this type of mentality too deeply ingrained?
Unfortunately, the problem is this type of mentality has been popularized. So it's actually becoming so commonplace to where it's actually being perceived as normal. Because you see it all the time.
Yeah, and I agree.
I see it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I said I see it in my own family.
Yeah, because I see, little memes and things that float around, and they push, hey, I'm, this, and this. I might be a little bit crazy, but I'm all this. It's like, the kind of wild stuff is like, I agree that it's kind of being glamorized. Um, so say a guy, I don't know how people are dating in the Rona, but say he encounters a woman, and a woman, not either one of them, they seem pretty rough, but say has a personality like one of these men. What would you suggest for a man to do in a situation like that?
No, say that again.
So if a man came across a woman with a personality similar to one of
Okay.
the two women in the video, let's say the younger one, what would you suggest that he does?
If he came across the younger one, and then he met the mama, and she basically run. That's what I suggest for him to do. Run. Don't even try to get yourself caught up in that shit, because it's gonna be to a point to where you're gonna be catching it from both sides,
No.
and you're gonna be trying to, defend her from her mom, but her mom is her family. So then you're gonna be kind of in a position to where you're trying to keep her away from her family, for lack of a better phrase, and eventually that shit's gonna blow over, and she's gonna be right back up. So it's gonna be a never-ending cycle,
Correct.
and you're gonna get tired of that shit, and you're gonna be like, man, you and your mama gotta cut this bullshit out, because every time you two motherfuckers get around each other, it's an issue. And she's gonna be like, well, that's my mama. That's the way we've always gotten along, even though we don't get along, but I still love her type shit. It's hard to try to, what I'm saying, keep between people and their family.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely is. I had an experience like that once. It's not something you really want to deal with long term. Like, it's just always going to be problems no matter what. And you got to understand, especially if you don't have a lot of family, it can be a tough deal. So, I find that unfortunate.
But the biggest problem is you don't want to fuck around and drop one with her, and now your child is being raised up in the same fucking dysfunction, and now it's 3 generations of the bullshit, and you got to be the one to stop it.
Yeah. Wrap it up, fellas. Twice.
Exactly.
Okay.
3 times even.
Yeah. Okay. What part of the country are you in right now, Professor Trill?
I am in Paducah, Kentucky.
I don't even want to know. Okay. Paducah?
And Paducah, Paducah.
That's terrible. Okay. All right. What's the weather like out there?
Oh, it's actually nice. It's like mid-50s.
Okay.
No wind.
That ain't bad at all. Can't complain. Okay. All right.
You really finna try to park like that, huh?
You anything else that's on your mind there, sir?
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Professor Trill, and getting the party started this evening. You have a good evening, sir, and get you some rest there.
Yeah, go ahead, Miss Bell. Gonna ring your bell.
Already.
All right, Honcho.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's Dan, bro.
Dan, the motherfucking man. Dan, first and foremost, Dan, how are you feeling, Dan?
I'm doing all right, sir. I got my grades back, all A's.
Good. Excellent. That's good to know.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Shout out to Dan, man.
So,
Dan, the all A man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was stressing out for none, man. But still, I want to make sure I do good. So I guess I did. So I'm relieved about that. And I saw my niece today, her little crazy ass. So it was a good day.
Okay, cool.
My love the kids. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Absolutely. So, what are your particular thoughts on the video, if you were able to see it, and just this kind of situation? Are you familiar with it?
That video I have not seen, but that situation I am very familiar with. It reminds me of some of the stuff my mother went through. Man, I'm not even going to really get into detail about the issues my mother had, but in terms of black women, really bad moms, I think some of them definitely are. I want to say, well, look, I'm just going to go by statistics. Child abuse in the United States, outside of American Indians, Native Americans, black people are the highest. It's about 80% Well, I'm going to assume 80% because in 2018 it was 74, 75% in terms of single parent households. I'm sorry, 77, and that's 2015. So that's three-fourths of the family single parent households. You know, I mean, that's just the numbers right here. And I'm going to Wikipedia, I went on different websites. I'm seeing the same thing, bro. So I mean, like, if the black family is this shattered, right? The nuclear black family, a mother, a father, 1, 2, 3 kids, maybe grandma staying upstairs in the attic or some shit. I don't know. That shit's done for us. How do you come back from that? I don't think you can come back from that. And it says right here, a 1965 report by Daniel Patrick Moynihan, Democratic blue senator from New York, known as the Moynihan Report, examined the link between black poverty and family structure. It hypothesized that the destruction of the black nuclear family would hinder further progress towards economic and political equality. Now, I think some other things help in that too. You have these black politicians get in office, and well, you know, they do what they do. You know, all they care about is getting reelected. Not like most politicians, but they damn sure do nothing for black people. Right. I think some of it is that black church that we all go to, where all we do is read the same book over and over and over. You know, but a lot of people telling us what to do in these churches. Some are pedophiles, serial fornicators, steal your money. He got a Bentley outside, but he want more of your damn money tax free. Okay, thanks, bro. No, thank you. I walked out of church one time. Me and my mother and my brother. We walked in this church one time. This is back in shit, 2003.
Heart, raising
like
one
the church, the pastor.
Heart.
We should have known it was a bad thing already because we was living in the projects at the time. This is the church and the project, so she already known it would be some bullshit. We walked in that motherfucker. This dude said, "Yeah, I need some more money." My mom sat down, and after he said that shit, we said, "Let's get the fuck out of here," and we just turned to get the fuck out of there.
That's fucked up. Made me think about that, Dad.
Yeah.
Anytime I think about black people, we start talking about money and collection. I always think about that scene from "Don't Be a Menace to South Central" while drinking your juice in the hood, where you're singing about "Don't ask no questions" every single time. nigga, get the collection plate to the back. Oh man.
Get around that side.
That shit does craziness. But that's wild, man. But I do agree that it almost seems like it's too easy to exploit, you know, each other, because like when you mentioned black politicians, you know, these are considered leaders in the community. You mentioned, you know, black preachers; these are considered leaders in the black community. And it seems there's a lot of deception. I'm not saying that there aren't those who are actually trying to do good. I'm saying, but it seems like they're few and far between, right. Or it seems like there's more they could be getting done. But I agree, man. Like it's some sketchy stuff going on, man. But that's shocking. Like 75%, over 70. I mean 77%. But that's shocking.
That was in 2015, my dude. 2015, bro. You already know it's 80% now. That's been what, 6 years since then? Well, 5 years since then. Let me not exaggerate. Yeah. But I mean, and Troy was right about that thing about the culture. Yeah, in the 60s, like, see, but here's the thing though, to compare. In 1965, it was 25% of our wedlock birth rates. So that's 25%. 50 years later, 77%. What happened? It happened when we latched onto that policy of the you know, the welfare state, the Great Society, the LBJ, one of the most racist presidents ever, gave to the black people as like you know, yeah, here you go peasants, here you go niggers. You know, he's been quoted as saying, "I'll have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years." We still on that plantation, in mental sense, yeah. And it is what it is. But let me stop getting distracted. In terms of black mothers, yeah, I've seen some wild shit, man. I've seen shit in my own childhood. My mother definitely abused me physically and mentally. So did my father. I mean, maybe I just have fucked up parents. I still love them, but I do not hide what they are. I don't put any sugarcoating over it. It is what it is. But when I learned more about my mother before she died, I understand why she was that messed up, because her mother was messed up. Her mother was a holy roller Christian. This is my grandmother I'm talking about. And she instead of listening to her daughters and their issues they had, like getting molested and getting abused, she was basically throwing holy water on them and stuff like that and beating the shit out of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how that goes. So she never got to process that. She never got to go through that grief, and no one told her you're not a victim, you're not a devil. I mean you are a victim, but you're not a devil. You know, you acting out. It's not because you're possessed by a demon. it's because you were abused repeatedly by people you're supposed to trust and supposed to have loved you instead of abused you. And she never got to process that, which really destroyed her. This is why she's dead now. I'm quite sure that was the reason. And that dysfunction, like Trill said, it travels. And Louis, I mean, look, bro. Hey, okay, LBJ was a great civil rights leader. God bless him. Okay, fair enough. So I don't know, man. My thing is, I think there's no turning back from this. How do you turn back from this? Give me a logical scenario where black people say, hey, we need to start having families sit together. You know, how does that work?
I know exactly what we got to do. We got to get all of the rappers, athletes, and entertainers to come together and kind of do like a We Are the World type song, right? And maybe if they started encouraging this, because, we seem to follow, though, but then they probably have to follow the rules too, and I'm sure that'll be tough for a lot of the entertainers and things. But I don't know, like, I honestly just being, facetious, but I really don't know, because it doesn't seem like, with numbers like that, it's like now the tables have turned. The odds are extremely slim. It's only going to get worse. I don't know. I have no idea.
Right. People have made millions, and the record execs probably even more off of promoting black dysfunction. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we've bought into the hook, line, and sinker. And I hate to think that art affects life, but in a way it does. But I will say one thing, and it's probably time for me to get off soon. I'm glad that Tekashi 6ix9ine got out of prison, because it clearly shows to me that gangster rap is dead.
Yes. And
there's no bringing it back. That shit is done, bro. None of you gangster rapping ass fools out here. We're done here. Man, y'all let that dude walk.
Love it. I fucking love it. I watched his live stream thing earlier, like a little 15-minute thing he did, and I fucking loved it. I loved everything he said, and it's hilarious to me. It really is. It's pure comedy to me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, Louis mentioned welfare state. You're absolutely right. That when it became popular to be a baby mama, when this shit got promoted, and I know you see some movies like Precious where Monique's telling Gabernie, whatever her name is, Precious, get your ass down to the welfare. Like, bro, that shit's happening everywhere, bro. Oh my God. And there's statistics on welfare, if I'm correct. If I'm not, I'm sure someone will correct me. There are more white people on welfare, but there's more white people in the country, obviously. Yeah. But thing is, per percentage, black people are like 43, 44% on welfare compared to white people. So we take up like 40% of our economies, of our communities on welfare compared to like a 20, 30%. So we're up there, and we're only like a small number of people in this country. I'd say like 13%. So it's just, I don't know all the math, forgive me, but we are really, I don't know what to say, man. Just depressing when you say it out loud.
Yeah, it really is. I was being way too generous with my numbers. We're doing real bad right now. Shit, doing this. It's not funny, but like I say earlier, you gotta just kind of laugh to keep from being upset about shit. But God damn it, that is terrible.
And on a similar subject, see, the thing about incentivizing bad behavior, and a man, Thomas Sowell, I think people need to learn more about this guy, Thomas Sowell. He's a great intellectual, and he's been speaking about this for years, and people tune him out. They listen to Al Sharpton and fools like that. Correct. Thomas Sowell they ignore. He mentioned something about incentivizing bad behavior, and it made me think of something. In other countries, they're incentivizing bad behavior of a different nature. A lot of these immigrants coming in from these war-torn countries, or supposedly war-torn countries, they're giving these people subsidies to come in, like Sweden, the UK, things like that. And crimes on the rise, rapes on the rise, crimes that haven't really happened in Sweden, like grenade attacks. It's never happened until these guys started showing up here. And you're giving them money to stay here because Sweden's taxed out the shit because it's kind of a social democracy or something. So they tax the hell out of people to give benefits more to people who need it, like especially elderly people and people who are sick and things like that. Not these people who just showed up here, barely learned the language, but they want you to follow Sharia law. Get the fuck out of here, bro. No, fuck that. So you cannot incentivize bad behavior. That's insane. And we're seeing the results now in our country, seeing in other countries. And it's going to take a real big reckoning to get people to wake the fuck up about that. So maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe they need to have like a big welfare shortage for like 6 months. And just see how, dude. You talking about the purge, boy? It's about to be. Oh man.
Oh, it would be very bad. It would be. If people are complaining about the corona, that would definitely be much worse. So, yeah, that'd be get rid of the welfare. It'd be a bad situation for everybody. Okay. All right, Mr. Dan. Is there anything else that's on your mind there, sir?
Well, I will say this. So I definitely think black men not being there, that's definitely a big part of this. But black women, if y'all as strong as you say you are, if the man ain't there, it shouldn't matter. Right? Because, I mean, y'all the strong queens of civilization, all that shit. It is what it is. I mean, y'all don't need us, so I'm saying fuck it. Just let it ride. Just see how far this goes, and we'll just see how bad this gets. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'm just Uncle Tom House nigga. I apologize. You know.
All right, Dan. Okay, well, that's a bad. Well, shout out.
That's all I got.
All right, well, shout out to Mr. Dan, man. I'm glad you're doing well. Got your grades back and everything is good. So shout out to Dan, the civilian man, Dan, the all A man. And I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us, man. I really do.
Absolutely, Mr. Honcho. And a shout out to a Real Talk. That was a good donation, brother. That's what's up.
Oh, yeah, that was super love.
Absolutely. That was crazy. I didn't expect that. But yeah, have a good night, man.
All right. You too, Mr. Dan.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And I appreciate the love, Miss Jessera. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
It's Keith Honcho.
Ah, Mr. Keith, how are you this evening, sir?
Life is good, man. Life is good.
Okay. What's on your mind? What's on your mind there, Mr. Keith?
Well, you know, about the girls or whatever that on the beginning I saw the video, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I know nothing about it, right? You know, my family's different, man, and I'm good. Mm-hmm. And I see Eastside Harold hollering at me, but life is really good, man. And, what can I say? Except, look, it started on your show, right? Mm-hmm. With Miss Grace, right? And yeah. I think that she's a good woman. I think her daughter, she has a good mother. I think I just told her, right? But what I'm getting at, and then there's a story unfolding, right?
Yeah.
And Miss Grace is a part of it, right? And it's a good story. It's a beautiful true story. It's all good, man.
Okay. Just put me in the what's the part when you write the book on the story? What is it? Not the prequel, the prologue or whatever. Just put me in there. Yeah, I'll write the foreword to the story.
Okay.
But okay, Miss Keith. But with the two women though, you say you saw the little video. Like how did that make you feel? Were you concerned? Were you upset? Like who did you think was in the wrong?
I couldn't really say, but I can say that the mother is jealous of the daughter. Mm-hmm. Straight bullshit, man. I always had a mother and a father. I don't know nothing about that, but straight out the hood, man. They straight out the hood, man. So what I'm supposed to say, I can't. That's their business. I ain't got nothing to do with that, Honcho.
Yeah. Okay.
But pray for them or whatever. But they need to be taught,
Yeah. Why would you think the mom would be jealous though? Why would you think a mother would be jealous of her own daughter?
Some are, some aren't. I've seen a situation myself. Right? I got a friend. She's 42 and her daughter's 23. Right? Shit, man. That's their business. I just say, you're supposed to love your baby, man. That's your baby girl, right? You made that beautiful daughter. What you mad at her for?
Yeah.
Yeah. But some dudes are rude too now. And then like here in the city, here in Atlanta, right? This is the hub for the child trafficking, that shit, man. It's ugly, and I don't like it, So what I'm supposed to say?
I'm not a fan either.
Because I please believe I will tell it. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I'll raise in a good way.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Honcho, listen.
Yes, sir.
One thing. Mm-hmm. I told you from the beginning, my first day out, right, on the den, right? Mm-hmm. I'm the star of my story, you the star of your story, right? And Miss Grace is the star of her story, okay? Look, hey, I've been chopping up with her just a little bit, right? Okay. She's good, man. And after 40 years, look, man, this is It is good. I sent her some pictures of my family from yesterday on Mother's Day. And that's a good girl. She's a good girl, man. With the best heart in the world. Okay, so I'm still happy from that day. From that day, I made that. When Google, she asked how I get her number. I said Google tell you everything, right? And Google gave me her number, right, for the right reason. So I'm good, man. I'm good. And I don't want no 10 minutes. I just got my 5 minutes. Let her know. And she's shooting hearts at me. You go, girl.
But I got one question for you though, Mr. Key. This is completely off topic. Okay. But you born and raised in Atlanta?
Wait a minute. Say it again.
Were you born and raised in the Atlanta area?
Yeah, born and raised. But my best friend is out of Houston, though. You know. But I've been from here to L.A. from Sunset. And I've been all over this country. It's a beautiful country, man. And one thing about those other girls too on the video, right? They never. A lot of people, Honcho, had never been out their own neighborhood, man. Until you make a move and see places, then it's a different story, man. Life changes,
No, I absolutely agree. I agree with that 100%. But I have a question about Atlanta. So I've never been to Atlanta. I need to do more traveling myself while we talk. As soon as I can, I definitely will. But there's a certain stigma that's placed on the city of Atlanta. Is that true? Is it the rumors about Atlanta being a questionable city? Is that really a true thing?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm just speaking about me. Look, Honcho.
Yes, sir.
Out of all the cities in this country, right? Other than Atlanta, Houston was a good one for me. For the color of my skin, Houston was good, man.
Oh, yeah,
Houston was good, right? But, everywhere else, man, it's people that make the world go round, man. So, if you're not taught, you don't know. If you don't ask questions, you won't know,
Yeah.
So, you learn something new every day. So what can I say, man?
Okay.
I'm not trying to take it. I enjoy listening, right? I just wanted to holler at you, man.
Okay, all right. Well, Mr. Keith, man, it's always good to hear from you and know you're doing all right. So I hope you keep listening. I expect to hear from you soon, man.
Yeah, and then too, I guess I joined the chat, right? And that it was a sister. I looked like she joined in, right? I think I might be able to
Sarah
get Miss Grace
donated
to tell me how
$2
to
through
join
Super
in,
Chat.
right? So I can sit in
When
and
is
talk,
Keith
kick it,
going
pop
to
it,
sing?
Yeah. That's what we need. You get up in that Discord, man, so you can come, so we can chop it up with Mr. Keith, man. I think them folk would really like that.
Yeah, and then too, and I'll get a chance to finish telling this beautiful story that's unfolding. Okay.
Yeah. I always like a good story, man.
Yeah, and I think I got something I want to say. One of the guys that called in, he called in first. Hey Trill, if you still listen, if you hadn't went to sleep, man, it's all about love, bro. And the other guy, Eastside Harold, hey Harold, life is good, baby, and the story's unfolding. So, hey, Mr. Honcho, I'll holler at y'all later, man.
All right, Mr. Keith, man, I appreciate you calling in, sir. All right, shout out to Mr. Keith. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, it's Belle. How are you?
Doing well, Miss Bell. How are you this evening?
Fourth time's a charm, I guess. Doing well. I want to put it out there to all the ladies. Happy belated Mother's Day yesterday.
Yes. Happy belated Mother's Day to you and all the rest of the den folk.
Thank you. I find that to be interesting considering there were 3 men before and not one man said anything about honoring the mother from yesterday. However, letting that go, going on to the next thing, I actually have experienced something similar to that video. Watching it. Not personally, but watching it. And it was toxic as hell. It was a mother and daughter fighting over a young man. And the young man ended up going to jail for statutory rape because the daughter was 14 and the mother was only 32, and she wanted the guy, and the daughter had already been with the boyfriend. It was a whole lot of mess, and it was definitely in the ghetto. However, what that says to me is both the mother and the daughter are broken, and there's no healthy boundaries in that relationship whatsoever. The mother's not fit to mother, and the child has been totally abused by the parent. And I don't see color on that because I've seen that happen in white families as well as others. So I find it to be sad. I find that it happens, and I don't think that it is specifically to one race. That it's across the board kind of thing. And I think it happens probably more often in poverty than it does anywhere else, even though I'm sure rich folks have their rich folks problems. But it's more out in the open when money's an issue. And I got to agree with Trill, but I also have to disagree with him. Having the father of that child on site would have been great, but the other thing is that if the mother was healthy, it wouldn't have even have been an issue about having the father be there, because all that's telling me is that if we put a man in there, then the woman's going to be all right. That minimizes her power as a parent. You see where I'm going with that?
Yes.
And so it's not the fact of a parent being overly powerful. It's a point of a parent being mentally healthy to take care of their kid. And I definitely agree. Somebody had suggested that the mother may have been jealous of the daughter. Absolutely. And I've seen that happen. And a lot of times what it is the mother had the child very young and feels like that child took all their beauty. And so there's a jealousy there of this child being able to have the freedom that the mother was enslaved to being a parent, because she had the child at 15, 16, or 17, and now she might be 29 or 30, and the daughter's coming into her blossoming stage, and it creates envy and jealousy. But bringing and slapping a parent, a father in there doesn't change whether a whole lot. It's just going to give another dynamic into the relationship. The mother and daughter relationship is still broken.
Is that a relationship you think that should be severed, or should they really, if possible, make attempts to mend it?
Honestly, that's an individual thing, because from my experience, the black community is better, but has never been good about going to therapy.
Yeah, no, we ain't finna sit on no motherfucking couch. But we'll sit on the couch.
And that's the point. And that's kind of the point. And that's what it would take, is actually to go to getting professional help. You know, I'm not saying, hey, not all white people are not crazy because they don't go. They just seem to go more.
Okay.
You know?
Would you consider that a financial thing too?
Honestly, I think there's always going to be more fighting across the board, whether it's male or female or parents and children, when finances are always not secure or always a tangent that's part of the equation. You know, when you don't know if you can pay your electric bill or the roof over your head you live in moment to moment on, it puts everybody emotionally on edge, so everything's heightened.
Yeah, no, I agree. But my thing is, do you think that's why maybe more black people don't go seek therapy?
Honestly, I think it's a matter of, from what a friend of mine told me, and she happens to be black, she was like, it's a cultural thing.
Okay.
And I said, okay, and that's the only answer I can give you, because that's the only answer I've ever been given. And culturally, she said, we just don't go. And I'm like, okay. But things have changed. You know, this conversation took place 25 years ago. So who knows? You know? But the thing is like anybody knows, going to therapy or going to the gym to work out on your physical body takes work. It's the same thing with going into therapy for the mind and the brain. It takes work. It's sweat and tears. And if you're not up for it, then people don't want to step up and go. But I've digressed again and probably passed my 10 minutes, but There's my bit for tonight. And the other thing is broken parents can't raise whole children. They come out fractured. Because we do pass on some of the sins of ourselves to our children, whether we want to or not, because we don't break the cycles of the bad behaviors that we learn from our own parents or our own guardians. It doesn't always have to be parents. It could be a grandparent. I had a grandparent that was very verbally abusive to me. She never told me she loved me. Never hugged me.
How do you think that impacted you as you grew up?
Up until probably about 10 years ago, I used to call her Grand Monster.
Grand Monster? I know it's not funny, but that's a kind of a funny name.
No, it's not funny. But what I didn't find out until about 10 years ago is that she was daily beaten by my grandfather when he was alive until the day he died. And so she did not know how to love, and she did not know how to accept love.
Okay.
So by that...
Did she get married
by
young?
that, she married because there was a bun in the oven. And you're talking the 1920s.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And so, like I said, this is a generational thing. And that was passed down. And my uncle was broken because of what his father did to him. And their children were broken. And they may not be white because it's the Italian side, but you can't raise whole children if you're broken.
Okay.
And that's where also healthy boundaries don't come in. The mother in the video, she was completely out of line. First of all, you put your child first. You don't put a man in a situation to come between you and your children. Your children come first. You made a choice to have children. And it's completely unhealthy to put a man before your natural children. And it's an opinionate. It's a judgment. But that's how I'm sticking by that judgment. I don't have a problem with that. And the other thing is the child was out of order by what she said to the mother. She may have been right, but it doesn't mean she wasn't disrespectful. And when there's not healthy boundaries in, we don't teach our children when it's adult conversation and when it's child conversation.
Yeah, I think you definitely have.
And that's something and that's something that I'd like to talk about, especially with that call, is that there was adult conversation with a mother and a child, and they weren't both adults. And we today, it seems like we're letting our children talk to us like adults when there still needs to be an adult child. What's the word I want? Chain of command.
I do find it pretty interesting, especially when you try too much to be your kids' friends, and they don't know that there's definitely blurred lines as they get older. Okay, that'd definitely be something to discuss.
But on that note, I'm good to go, and you can ring the bell.
All right. Well, the bell has rung. Class is in session. And Ms. Bell, I appreciate you for calling in this evening and sharing your thoughts with us.
All right. Good night, and I hope to hear from everybody else.
All right. You have a good evening.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to Mr. Lockwood. I appreciate the love, sir. Thank you for becoming a member of the Den. I got to make some more emojis. I still haven't done that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the Den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, it's Real Talk.
Real Talk. How are you doing this evening? First, thank you. And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. And I send out the love. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, first thing I want to say that this is definitely not a race thing. I know this for a fact because I saw this firsthand with my mom and my sister. Secondly, I want to say to all the true mothers out there, and I'll get to why I'm saying true mothers out there, happy belated Mother's Day.
Yes.
Now, the reason why I say true mothers is my mother abandoned me when I was 2 years old.
What?
Yeah, my dad and my mom got a divorce. She got full custody of me, and she took me to my dad's house and just dropped me off at the door and said I can't take him, and left.
Damn, that's fucked up.
So every summer, my dad would take me to my mom so I can meet her and know her, and every summer I'd spend with my mom. Throughout the rest of the year, I'd spend with my dad. When I was 8 years old, my mom and my sister, who was 14 at the time, used to get drunk and party. So 14-year-old girl with my mother getting drunk, partying, and I got to see everything that happened. Mind you, when my mom had me, she was only 22. Yeah. So I can tell you for a fact that this is not a race thing. I can also tell you for a fact that this is nothing new. We've been publicizing this not only in rap. No. They used to sell TV shows on this shit.
Yeah.
Do we not remember Jerry Springer? Do we not remember Ricky Lake and Murray and all the others? But seriously, what was the whole point of them shows?
Yeah, basically
To
fight
sell
families.
To sell this shit, right? So what do they expect to happen after they start ending the shows? Is it going to change? No. Were they expecting it to stop because they stopped the show? No. So now that we have social media and you can blast it live, that's why we're where we're at now. Yeah, I see in chat people doing the Jerry thing.
My thing is okay. So you say it's not a race thing. You think it's just a part of some aspects of society. Do you think there's ever a way to change that? Do you think a person can reform, or do you think it is just kind of the way that they are?
First and foremost, everyone can change. Everyone can change. Even if you say you don't change, people change over time, constantly. I'm different than what I was when I was 8. You're different than when you were in high school. People change over time. The issue isn't can someone change. The issue becomes, do they want to change?
Right.
That's the problem. And about what Phil said about the father not being there, I'll say this: there are two types of parents. Well, let me change that. There's two types of people that make kids. Them that are just sperm donors, and the women that are just there to carry the egg, and the actual parent. It takes parents. I'm not saying it takes two, but it takes a parent to actually raise a kid.
Absolutely agree.
But that's my thing on this. Like, people are like, oh, this is, look at the, like, we've been doing this for how long?
Well, it's been a while now. Since way before cell phone. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's been happening behind the scenes for decades and decades. But
yeah. But how long ago was Jerry publicizing this?
Oh man, was that? Oh, that was the '90s. It's almost, damn, it's a long time ago. Damn near 30 years ago.
Yeah, but he openly publicized this for almost an entire decade.
Yeah.
But so, like, with these and so with the Snapchats, the TikToks, all these social medias, and people can just push a button and show it live, of course they're going to do it. Because the generation before them got raised on it, and now their generation is doing it, so this is where we're at.
Yeah. Man, it's unfortunate. If you don't mind me asking, in the long term, without being too detailed, from the experiences in her youth, would you say your sister turned out for the better or for the worst?
I'll put it this way. She has 2 kids by 2 different men who are brothers. You tell me.
I have no comment.
Yeah.
It has to be one interesting Christmas. Okay.
Enough said, pretty much.
Yeah, that's I have no further questions, Your Honor. Man, that's very interesting.
My bad. She has 2 kids, and their fathers and they're by 2 different men, but they're brothers. I'm sorry, I misspoke in chat.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, I remember Montel.
Heidi, I love you. I love you, Heidi.
Fucking Heidi is funny as shit. Man, I don't know, man. But I agree with what you said though about people having a want to change, and I think it has to be a point where you realize that there's something more to it. And I don't know if everybody has that moment, or maybe some people have that moment too late. But yeah, I definitely 100% agree with that. So.
Grace donated $20. This is from the OG
Oh.
Otis Keith, who thinks that Grace
I'm
is the
going into
best
this
woman
story.
in the whole wide world, bitches.
Okay. My sister, Danielle, not only slept with 2 brothers. No. She didn't just sleep with both brothers. No. She married one, got a divorce, married the other one, got a divorce. So you want to try to say that this is a race thing? No, not at all.
I almost want to say she did it the most proper way you could do it, though. I mean, at least you married both of them. I don't know.
No, she had the kids before she got married.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It was. Trust me, it was the most Jerry Springer shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Like, so to your knowledge, have the brothers ever gotten into a fight over her, or have there ever been any altercations? I mean, there has to be some kind of tension, and you could like never look at your brother the same after that.
Has there ever been a fight over her? No, not over her. But remember, I said I watched this happen live.
Yes.
Put 2 and 2 together.
All right, so I mean, how about them Texans, man? I don't, I mean, it's just kind of, what's going on? Okay, that is extremely unfortunate. Yeah, damn, that's a rough situation. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, I got nothing for that. I got nothing.
Hey, Grace, what? I was in the Army. I'm sorry. I didn't get much education growing up. I'm from fucking South Texas.
Oh, no, I think she's thinking about, I think you're thinking about, I believe his name was James, Miss Grace. No, this is Real Talk. I think that's what you think about Mr. James, who told a story about, I think, in Hawaii or something like that.
Shoot. If y'all want stories, I mean, I can tell you stories about how my sister and my mother got so drunk with a bunch of my sister's friends from high school that I had to watch one guy piss on the table while my sister went into my bedroom and used the kid's walker as a toilet.
Whoa.
And when I say the guy pissed on the table, I mean he literally thought the goddamn ashtray on the center of the table was a toilet.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty. I've had some plastered stories, some extreme. And when you said pissed on the table, that is it bad that actually brought back a bunch of memories? But we're not gonna get it. We might say that for a Sunday night confession. But yeah, that's bad. That's terrible. You gotta be really fucking loaded to piss on the fucking center of a table.
Okay. No. The best part about it is, you want to say that he was loaded? Fine. My mom, remind you, I'm 8 years old at the time.
Yes.
8 years old at this time. My mom was so drunk that she laid on the floor, just laid there, and told me to get her to the bed. I filled up a pitcher of water and poured it on her, and then she asked the room who poured water on her as she watched me do it.
Oh, I don't know, man.
So.
I mean, I understand. It's just the youth, you know. Like, I mean, I partied when I was younger. I mean, there were no adults around allowing it, but it's just different when you're encouraging the behavior.
No, because I didn't breastfeed because my mom left me when I was 2, but before I was 2, she just wasn't around. Like, my entire childhood because of my mother was fucked up. I mean, I can go all the way back to the fact that I was born completely blue.
What? How did that happen?
I wasn't breathing for 5 minutes.
Damn.
And the doctor looked at my mother and told her the only way a child is born like this is when my mother smokes or drinks with the baby inside of her. So my mom had to admit that she had smoked and drank with me for the first 7 months.
So did you have any complications from that?
Several.
Okay. John asks, how is your relationship with women now?
My relationship with women now is fine. Like, I understand the difference between an actual woman, a child, and just someone you don't want to mess with.
Okay, good. Just it's actually very interesting.
I mean, I'll put it this way. Do I understand why some people have these issues with their parents and then they take them out on other people? Yes. Do I also understand the issue of, well, my parents act like this, so I'm going to get with someone that acts like my parents? Yes. I've seen both. I've dealt with both. All I can say is don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just find people that you like for who they are.
Okay. That's, every now and then there will be calls of the day that just you hear something that was unexpected, to say the very least. That was definitely this call this evening. I did not expect it to go there, and I'm still like trying to process it because I'm trying to put myself in the brother's shoes. the married.
Honcho, I'm still on the line.
Yes, no, I'm just saying. I'm just talking kind of out loud. I'm still definitely trying to process that whole how you have that conversation and how you get into it. So, but I'm sorry, that Mr. Mr. Riotai. I'm just spewing what I'm thinking there for a moment.
No, I get you. And the problem is you can't. And everyone's like, oh, I know how I would act. I know how I respond. Honestly, you don't know what you would do until you're in the situation.
Correct.
And when people try and look in my childhood and try and like actually look at it from everything that ever happened to me, all I can tell you is it was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, from a drunken mom to a dad who ran me over with a tractor to...
Wait, what? Now I gotta ask. I gotta ask about the tractor now.
Oh, the tractor. Oh, let's see. You remember the old school 48 Ford tractors, the big boys?
Yes, okay, I know what you're talking about.
You know the bush hogs that they attached to the back of it?
Yeah. Yes.
2 years old, got ran over by it.
Did you sustain any injuries?
Let's see. The back tire smashed me into the ground. The blades went over me. Luckily, I was smashed far enough into the ground that most of them cleared me, but I busted my head up in 7 different spots. I broke my jaw in 2 places. I cut my leg almost completely off.
Good God.
When my mother, and I use these words loosely, found out, notice my mom had to find out because she had moved to Georgia.
Where?
Yeah, like I said, she abandoned me when I was 2. She not only dropped me off at my dad's house, she left states. She showed up, saw me in the hospital, and stayed about a week and then left. With me still in the hospital.
You know, that's, again, you know, like you said, you mentioned there's certain people who, sperm donors who carry eggs, and then you got your real parents. That's a tough, I couldn't imagine, seeing the child suffering there and not be there.
Okay. Chat, I'm going to say one more thing, then I'm going to get off. When I say my life was so fucked up as a child, when I was born, my mom was 22. My dad was 47.
Oh, no. There's a slight bit of an age discrepancy.
My mom went to school with kids that my dad had with his first wife.
Oh, goodness.
My entire childhood is a Jerry Springer show.
That's what I was starting to think. I'm like, there's a lot of complicated crossroads going on here. This could be dangerous. So, yeah.
Oh,
I hope
yeah, I mean, I'll talk about them all day long. The best part about it is I'll talk about them all day long. I can bring my dad. He'll tell you. He doesn't give a fuck.
We're going to have to make that an episode of The Den one evening. I think that would be a very, very interesting conversation. We're going to make that happen. We're definitely got to make that happen.
All right, that's too easy. I'll just go see him.
Okay. Well, other than that, Mr. Riotai, is there anything else that's on your mind, sir?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, you know what? I thank you for sincerely calling in and just sharing your story with us. Because like I say, sometimes sharing personal things can be a bit of a task, but I thank you for providing some examples and, you know, showing us that it's not just a race-based thing. So I appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
All right. Thank you, sir. You have a good evening.
All right, bye.
All right. We're going to take this last call. It's going to be the last call we take this evening. But that was a hell of a call to follow up. But what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Good.
Mr. Dakota, how are you doing, sir?
Nothing much. All right. So, I know what the topic is, but I didn't see the video.
Okay.
So, can you explain that to me real quick?
Okay. Well, the video is basically a mother and daughter having an argument. And I wish I could explain it better, but for, I guess, lack of a better definition, just over a dude, apparently. The mother's calling the daughter all kind of dick suckers, and, you know, that claims that the daughter's always trying to fuck men after her and things of that nature. And the daughter was just basically saying that towards the end, she's like, this is why so many black women have these issues, because we're raised in households like this, and that my mother has been accusing me of wanting her boyfriend since I was 7 years old, and I'm 21 years old now. So, for the most part, that covers what it was. But she was highly upset about the whole situation. The mom was not arguing. Neither one of them, honestly, was arguing in the most intelligent manner, and so it was very concerning.
So that is very, very similar. And my wife went through a situation with her stepfather, which is why how my wife ended up in Texas. And I don't know, can I tell it?
Yeah, go
It's
for
up to you. Well,
it. You talk to me. I was like, shit, yeah, you know me. I was like, tell us, yeah, I want to hear this shit.
All right, so her stepfather pretty much started molesting her at the age of 4, all the way up until she was 7. And instead of her mom, this is why I think her mom is a piece of shit. Now, if I ever see that woman today, I would push her down the stairs and probably light her on fire. Anyway, she, you know, my wife got grown. Her dad moved out to Texas, and I actually commend him because if it had been me, I don't know how I would have handled that situation. So, moved to Texas, raised her, and when my wife turned 19, when I met her, she actually moved out to Colorado for a few months to, you know, get to know her mom and live with her again and whatnot. Well, every week it was, you stole my husband, you took my husband, and instead of saying, hey, your fucking husband was a goddamn pervert and a fucking molester, you rather blame a 7-year-old and say she has sexual tendencies. Like, she's fucking 7, you ignorant bitch. So, you know, my wife turned out, you know, fine. And what I got to say about the black community is, like, we love drama, but we don't love solutions.
Correct.
We will harp on drama, but we won't give any solutions. And it's like, okay, how do we fix this?
Exactly.
Because we can't put them into the system. The system creates criminals, and whether you believe it or not, it does. I mean, you have the anomaly that gets out of the system and makes something of themselves. But I didn't check the statistics lately. I think the last time I checked it was 2014. Like 75% of kids that grew up in the system have felony records, have records. You know, and that's fucked up. Because what is the solution to bad parenting? And it's not just the black community. Now, I will, you know, say this. Trill was onto something because as the black community, we love drama. And he said, I forgot what he said, that, you know, it really resonated with me. And it was like, damn, you're right. Because it's the same old shit. He said that mentality of thinking is popular nowadays. Like, you have you have gay white men that imitate black ratchet women.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just because the world is embracing this ratchet thinking doesn't mean the black community is all like that. And people like to say, well, it's the majority of the black community. Well, how do we really know that? Are we in everybody's household? No. Now, will I deny and say they're not out there? Yes. And I just gave you an example with my wife. Her mom is one of the most ignorant, ratchet chicks I have ever known, and I have never met her mom in person. But at the same time, you got to look at it like, okay, when are we going to stop harping on the fucking problem and start putting out fucking solutions?
But here's the thing, and I agree with you 100%, but do you think that people are not accepting of possible solutions? Because sometimes solutions get put out there, but it seems like because of who maybe is putting it out there, people are not accepting of the solution. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would agree, because, and this is black people lines like, oh, you know, what happens in the house stays in the house, you know, and that's a fucked up way of thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, I didn't realize until I got older, it's nothing wrong with talking about your problems. Like, I didn't have terrible parents. Yeah, my dad got on drugs. Yeah, my parents split up. But when it came to their children, oh, you had to deal with both of them. Yeah. And it was like I knew my parents. So my parents I can't speak from a person that came from bad parenting. I actually come from damn good parenting. Yes, they had their flaws. They weren't perfect, but, you know, we ended up turning out okay. But I can't speak for everybody. And, you know, I can only speak from what I saw. Not all black parents were bad. Like, most of the black parents I know, with the exception of like 2 or 3, are damn good parents. Yeah. So that's my reality. That's the norm and the majority for me. But people that come from fucked up situations, and it's not, and we just like to harp on it with the black community, but it's everybody. But then people say, oh, it's not, I don't care about everybody else. I care about the black community. We stop harping on the fucking problem and put out solutions. But you don't want to hear the solutions from other races. You exclude white people, you exclude Mexicans, you exclude Indians, you exclude other ethnicities that don't really deal with that. So obviously they have some type of solution that black people are not willing to listen to. Exactly. And if that's the case, black people need to swallow their fucking pride and get some fucking sense and say, hey, it's time for a change. But right now, I really think because it's cool to be stupid and ratchet, that's what the majority of the people is going to follow. Yeah. Because if you look at the movement in the '60s, every black person you ran into were stand-up people. Correct. Like it was rare to see what we see nowadays. Now that shit is cool. Now that shit is the majority. But back then it was like, okay, fathers stood up and took care of their kids. Yeah, you had the father that would step out on his wife, but he took care of his kids. So nowadays, you got niggas. I knew a guy, and I stopped fucking with him because he was like, "Oh yeah, bro, I just got this. I just bought me a Gucci belt, this, and that." And I looked across the way, and I was like, "Ain't that your son over there?" We were living in Cleveland. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You spent $300 on a Gucci belt, but you didn't give that $300 to your fucking baby mama for your son." I was like, "Nigga, don't talk to me no more. Like, straight up. You a bitch ass nigga." That's bitch nigga shit. And we condone shit like that. Correct. And if you go with this 6ix9ine and I don't know if you know who Adi Boom is, and I talked about that before. But niggas is like embracing bitch nigga shit. Niggas is embracing snitches. Niggas is embracing this dumb shit. And I agree with Dan when he said rap music is dead. This shit, like, I don't want to hear that shit that the streets, like, most of the niggas in the streets are pussy nowadays. Because there ain't no way in hell you snitch out my whole fucking gang and I'm letting you walk my streets. Fuck no. It's just, the world is embracing black culture, but the negative influences that it has. Everybody want to sag their pants now. Everybody want to talk like they ain't got no goddamn sense. Everybody want to be out there clapping like, yes, bitch. Like, everybody want to do that. But you don't want to promote the black kids that's in school. You don't want to talk about the black mom that had 3 kids by the age of 17 and still went and got a master's degree and started up her own business. Nobody want to talk about that lady. Those are the women that don't get no love. We only showing love to these dumb hoes who want to be out there with all these bullshit ass problems. And it's like the majority of our women aren't like that. At least from my perspective, because all I've seen was the majority of the women step up. Like, I'm at my aunt's house right now. Her and her baby daddy together. They raising their kids. Me and even though I'm not with my baby mama, we co-parent. You know, my father-in-law raising his kids, my brother raising his kids, my younger brother raising his kids. Now, I do got one in there that's a fucking dumbass, but he's still in his kid's life. But, you know, the majority and the instance for me is I see good black people in the world. I don't see all this ratchetness. So that's my truth. You know, that's my reality. But I can see to the world, and then I really wish the age of cell phones hadn't came out. Because it's not like this shit is new. People just want to pick up cell phones and record it and get a bunch of fucking views and shit. Yep. So it's like that shit bothers me. Like, it's just that's some dumb shit. Like, people want to record them fighting. People want to record them doing dirt. People want to record all this dumb shit, but don't. And I blame society too, because the good shit don't get no playback. The good shit don't get no. And I'm guilty of it too. I see a fight and I watch it, but I won't stop and see the black kids handing out sandwiches. Yeah. To the homeless.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen them the other day. They was pulling out, well, some people, not the kids, but they was pulling out the back of the trunk cooking for the homeless. So, I definitely agree, and I think that's what's part of it. That's what's important. That's why there's, certain characters that I'm not a big fan of that do speak on black issues, and I get where they come from. I can agree with most of it, but I do think you have to address the good too. I think you have to, appreciate the underdog. Like, you mentioned about a chick, having 3 kids, y'all. I got a friend of mine, like I say, she's been very, very successful. And we're talking about, could have still been a hip hop vixen or whatever you want to call it, or whatever's going on, or all these other things she was doing. She used to be a stripper and all this other stuff. It was very popular. But made a change, because, and I agree. So that's why it makes me think about Real Talk's call about you have to want to change. Like, you have all this other stuff. A lot of people love that fast life, fast money type, shit going on. But then some people just want better when they realize, I got kids, I got this, this ain't the life I want them to see me living. But do you think that most people really want better, even the people who are kind of, in this behavior? Do you think they really want better? Do they just not know how? And again, like we addressed about offering solutions, are they not looking in the right place for these solutions? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's 50-50. And what I mean by that, I think some want to make a change and just don't know how, because you just been taught by people who didn't know no better, and the cycle continues. But then I also see the people that just don't want to change. They want to be stupid and ignorant their whole fucking life. They want to be gangbangers. They want to be street niggas. Like, I'm more concerned with being a real father than a real nigga. I don't want to be out in the streets. Like, I can honestly tell you, yeah, I come from gang coaching and all that, but I don't want to do shit like that no more. That's it. I saw a time when it was cool for me to get shot at. Like, man, I got my stripes, man. Fuck them niggas. We'll get them back on the flip. And it's like, nah, I got kids to live for. I want to make something of my life. I don't want to die and pass my kids a bunch of fucking debt. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. But then you got niggas who would think it's cool for their son or their daughter to get in the same gang they in. Yes, it's a family affair. Like, that shit is stupid.
Yeah. I saw some shit the other day, like that whole family, the mama, the daddy, all the kids, they don't look like they but, 3, 4, and one of them was still a baby, and they got them all, just, my thing is like you start instilling this mentality in these kids young, And then to me, like, it's situations like that, because I see a lot of it too. And then you see people post these pictures on social media, and other people encourage. Like, I'm not a big fan of people who dress their young kids up like grown ups. I think it's stupid. I think you get them motherfuckers some cheap ass clothes, let them fuck them clothes up because they don't give a damn about them goddamn clothes. And you mad because you spend a bunch of money on the clothes. The kids don't know what the fuck the shit is. That's your own fault. But you start ingraining with this mentality young, then I feel like there's a lot of people who do that, but you can't blame other cultures for forcing that, because nobody's making, and I'm not saying that you said that, but when these issues come up and you go back and you look down the family tree, and like you say, you see it's a generational thing. I mean, that's on the parents for even raising your kids like that, wanting to be involved in a lifestyle like that. I agree with you. Like, you should want to be a man. You should want to set an example for your kids to follow. But like, how do people not see that? Because there's a lot of niggas out there still doing the same thing that you once were, but they never got that fatherhood switch flipped. And they may have kids, but the fatherhood aspect of it never really slipped. They still because when you in the streets, a lot of that is selfish. You're doing a lot of shit, and it's really truly selfish shit. You may be saying this for this, that, and the third, but there's other ways to get money. But why don't you think that switch flips for everybody else, or not for a lot of people?
And I don't know how you can honestly look at your children and not make that change. I don't know personally, because as soon as they put my daughter in my hands, it was like instant. It was like, okay, I gotta find a better way. Because the last thing I would want my daughter to grow up and not know her father because he got lost to some dumb shit. Last thing I would want is my wife to be in the hood with me and she get a stray bullet to the noodle. Like, nah, I couldn't live with myself with shit like that, But it's just people out there that just really don't care. They think the cycle is continued, and I've heard this before, but it's the realest shit I've ever heard. Like, you niggas are claiming and fighting over territories that you motherfuckers don't even own.
Exactly.
Like, and I can't say that I'm any better because I was out there fighting for it. Like, to be honest, I'm a blood till I die, but at the same time, I love what it stood for. Community unity, doing good in our community, policing ourselves. That's what gangs started for. Protect us from law enforcement. Not this dumb shit. Like, I don't need to go out there and sell drugs to be a real nigga. But I can go flip burgers at McDonald's and be a real father. Because it's honest money, and I get to come home every day and play with my children. Right. Not wondering what my children are doing, looking at 20 to life.
Correct.
But that's just what society is embracing right now. And I just can't deal with the dumb shit. Like, and that's why I have such a problem with the whole 6ix9ine situation. Because it was cool when you was in this lifestyle putting money on niggas' head, but it's not cool when you were looking at all that time.
Now, and it's very interesting. So I listened to what he said, right? And I think there's a couple of factors. We probably should have talked about that. We might talk about it tomorrow or something to dive deeper into it. But the 6ix9ine thing. So he says, hey, right, it's supposed to be about loyalty. It's supposed to be about, unity and all that stuff. But while all this was supposed to be loyalty and unity, these men kidnapped him and beat him up. They was fucking his baby mama. They was basically hoeing him for a bunch of money. And then I believe they said that there was a plot to kidnap his mom. Yeah. So my thing is, at what point does the loyalty no longer exist? And and I know he's he read and all that, and that's a whole other topic. I think if you in that shit, you deal with that shit. But if you're a regular citizen, I think that's a different conversation. So if he felt like there was no loyalty, so he was no longer a part of that or whatever. And then my thing is, them niggas was goofy because they knew he wasn't he wasn't that type of dude. So like, they goofy as fuck for letting him have that ability to do so. Like, what did you think was gonna happen eventually? Like, you was just gonna build this nigga? Like, he was just gonna be ready? Like, I don't know. So that's kind of on them for putting him on and letting him, operate like that. So, but my thing is the loyalty aspect. What do you your thoughts on that?
This is what it is. When you pledge loyalty to the gang life, that's what you pledge loyalty to. Just because them niggas wasn't loyal didn't mean you had to follow suit. Now, I do understand. I really do. Like this nigga was fucking your baby mama. He was trying to kidnap your mom, kidnapped you, beat you up. Okay, I can understand you no longer being loyal to him, snitching on him. My thing with 6ix9ine is you snitched on everybody. Like you took down everybody. The niggas that was loyal to you out there putting money on niggas. You put money on Chief Keef's head, and you had niggas going out there loyal to you, bucking at him, and you put him behind bars, and he was loyal to you. There were niggas loyal to him in that faction. But because one nigga fucked you over, you fucked everybody up.
But were they loyal to him or were they loyal to the gang?
Hold on. You said was who loyal to who?
I said, like, were they really loyal to 6ix9ine or were they loyal to the gang?
No, they were loyal. I can honestly say them niggas were loyal to the gang. They wasn't loyal to 6ix9ine. Okay. But that's what it is. That when you get in the gang culture, that you know what it is. Like them niggas and this gang culture has taught you nothing else. Is that the streets love no one.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
No one. Even with me, one of my closest people got set up by his own fucking people.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
And it was fucked up because that was he was my dad's good friend, and like he was my mentor. The reason I'm not in jail today because he looked me dead in my eye and told me, "I'm gonna get you out of this, but you are done in the streets." And they set him the fuck up, and they killed him, and it hurt today, man. That shit fucks me up today. But I have to take the good with the bad because I got into something knowing what it was. But anyway, like the whole loyalty aspect, there's no loyalty in this game. If it teaches you nothing else, there's no loyalty in this game. You win for a little bit and then you lose. That is what it is. For me, I lost early and it didn't cost me that much, and I grew the fuck up. 6ix9ine lost, and he's not gonna suffer any real consequences because he got out of jail after doing the wrong thing and got a record deal. He was rewarded for being a snitch. So it is what it is now. Now I will say this. I don't fault him for taking Shotty down, but I fault him for everybody else. Like, whatever. It is what it is. I don't support him, so I don't give a fuck what he do.
So what if what if you felt like, all these other people were in cahoots or maybe they was in on it? And I'm not defending them, I just like to play the devil's advocate. What if these people had, maybe loose ties to some of them? I know they said they had somebody on the phone plotting to hit on him and, what about, some of those other characters?
What other characters? Like the other people, first of all, 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods was everywhere, so I'm pretty sure it's hundreds of them. So I have a hard time believing it was everybody. Now the people he used to run with, and then again, with the mob culture, you introduce a snitch to the mob. The person that introduced that snitch get his hands cut off, and then they kill you. So the gang culture has been growing soft for a long time, and.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and again, like I said, it's another conversation. But it is what it is when niggas just make. Because like especially the youngest niggas is doing something just completely different. Because that wasn't what it was. Especially out here in the city. Different places. Different things have been going down. But I don't know, man. Like I think that's we take the conversation elsewhere because it's a lot to really get into with that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm going to put one last question on that with the whole 6ix9ine thing. My question is this, though. Is it really him? He came back out, right? Broke an Instagram record, all the shit that was going on, of course, and this motherfucker jumped back out, 2 million people on a live. And for the most part, it looked pretty positive as far as who was, interacting with him. So is it his fault or is it people, or is it that people just embrace this mentality now? Like it's okay because obviously he still has a shit ton of fans, even if it's only 2 million. I think that's still a adequate amount. So you know, what do you think about that? Has the world changed? Like, I mean, like, is that a remnant of the past? That whole no snitching, that whole gangsta. What are your thoughts on that?
So with that is, again, it goes back to society embracing the wrong shit. To me, 6ix9ine had consequences dealing with that life, but as soon as he turned snitch, everybody was like, "Oh, okay, it's cool, it's whatever." Well, I like his music, so I'm gonna go back to supporting him, and it is what it is. Society just embraces the wrong shit, and we can go back to the topic. Society just embraces being a ratchet ass female who doesn't handle their responsibilities. Society embraces dumb ass niggas because even with the hip hop culture, it's a bunch of lean sipping, drug dealing, drug taking. Fuck that hoe. I'm just here to fuck her. Fuck my baby mom. She ain't getting a dime out of me. That's just what the culture is right now.
Yeah.
And people will embrace that shit, and it's that's why I barely listen to rap music today. If you go through my phone, I got a bunch of old shit in my phone because I just cannot listen to rap music today. It's just, first of all that shit sound the same. Yeah. Second of all, there's no real message in it. Correct. See, back in the day, in the 90s, in the early 80s, you had violent stories, but that's what they were. Where I came from. I'm going to give you a taste of my life and see would you be happy with having to go through what I went through. No, you wouldn't. But somewhere in the 2000s, it got twisted, and they started glorifying gang culture. I got into a gang when you had to have heart. I went to jail one time. They knew I was a blood, and they put me in a cell with 20 Crips, and it was like, fuck it, it's still what it is, my nigga. Fuck y'all. But I ended up being cool with him. I chopped it up because one of the people I was locked up with, I actually knew his brother, and he was like, you 100 with me, so you straight. But they was gonna whoop my ass for my set. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah. I went in what it is, man. It's blood. This is what it is. But it, it's just society to me embraces the negative instead of the positive. Like there's this kid in Nigeria who made audio gloves for sign language. You don't hear too much about him.
Yeah, that was actually.
There's another little girl who has products in Walmart to this day. You don't hear too much about her. You have a CEO at 14. You don't hear about her. So it's instead of embracing the good in the black community, they take the bad and run with it and then sell it to society, and society eats that shit up.
But do you think? Let's be honest though. You got some of the numbers that have been shared. What was it? I think it said 43% of the black community is on some type of government assistance. That's a significant number. I'm not saying that everybody is, still a significant number. That's the damn impact. And you look at stuff like that, and then you talk about positivity. Well, we all know leaders want to see people be successful. Winners want to see other people win. There's a lot of people that are losing in the black community. Do you think they want to hear those positive stories, or they rather hear the drama because it makes them seem like, well, my life ain't as bad, or maybe this issue, it distracts them from, shit they got. Some of their lives be just as bad, if not worse. Their lives be the drama. But, is that what it is? Do you think they deliberately don't want to hear more positive stuff because it makes them feel a certain type of way about their own lives, or what do you think that is?
I can sum that up real quick. Misery loves company. You see, you don't want to hear about the nigga that's winning because you too lazy or don't want to know, you too whatever it is to get off your ass and make something of yourself. So you rather hear the stories about motherfuckers getting shot at, going to jail, bucking at the police. Like you want to hear this shit because it makes you feel better about your circumstances. You want to hear this shit because maybe my life isn't so bad. Like you want to harp on the bad instead of harping on the good. I'm on government assistance because I have a disability. But do you see me out here saying, oh, well, I can't do this because of that? No. I was put in a situation where I had to grow up, start my own business, and take it from there.
Yep.
My wife had a stroke when she was 14. She has a deficit on her right side, but she owns her own cleaning company. Two people with disabilities came together and was like, okay, this is what we're going to do with our life. Fuck the bullshit.
And that's what I'm saying.
But we do.
But I hate to cut you off, but like I say, but the fact that, well, would you consider yourself more special than anybody else?
No.
Okay. Would you think you say you have any kind of exceptional superpower or skill?
No.
And so my thing is, like you just said, two individuals with disabilities came together and made something happen. Why can't more people do that? Are they lacking that belief? What are your thoughts on that?
So I can speak for myself. With my disability, I was told I couldn't play sports, so I automatically had to go with a different route. I had 2 scholarships I fucked out being stupid, but I had strong families and strong backgrounds, so they were like, okay, do something with your life. You're not gonna sit here and use this disability as a crutch. Yeah. Now I do look at my sickle cell as a driving force to want to do better, because I know what my demise is going to be. I'm going to have a sickle cell crisis, and it's going to kill me one day. That just is what it is. Now that I know that, it's a driving force to say, hey, leave your children and your family something. But and I think a lot of people, circumstances aren't that bad. They can wallow in their self-pity. Because if you look at most athletes, they come from fucked up circumstances. Yeah. But they had a way out. But there's also, doctors and lawyers that come out of the hood, but what they do, they left and they never came back.
Correct.
So people, I think, like they said, pressure makes diamonds. And if you can't find what's going to turn your life into a diamond, then you're just a sad individual and you like where you are. My mom has this saying, if you don't like something, change it. Yeah. I didn't like the way my life was going. I changed it. My wife didn't like the way she was like, her life is going. It just takes a flip of the switch to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah. But like I said, society handicaps the black community more than it helps. Because if you look at shit like, the black community is on welfare 43%. Well, you got some people to look at that, well, if I'm a fuck up, I might as well be a great fuck up. Instead of saying, let's do something about that. That's a horrible fucking number. Yeah. Let's do something to change that. It's fuck it, I'm gonna be a fuck up, I might as well excel at it. Like, no, nigga, that's not what that means. It just means to get off your black ass and make something happen.
I agree 100%. All right. That's a bet, Mr. Dakota, man.
No problem.
But yeah, we definitely, like I said, gonna have to get deeper on the conversation we was having. And I think there's a lot of different things that we can discuss. Let me see how long it's been since I've had one of those community upsetting conversations. And if it's been long enough, we might have to have that real soon. But I appreciate it always, man.
Well, shout out Trill, Dan, and New York John for pissing niggas off. I fucking love it.
Already, absolutely. Everybody but Trill. Trill don't get no goddamn. So he probably snoring right now anyway. Goddamn.
All right.
No, that's a bet. All right, man. Shout out to Mr. Dakota. Now, excuse me, pardon me, and I apologize for your ears. I said I would take one more call. And so it's saved and reserved. So if you call, I'm just going to hang up on you if it's not for who it is. So don't feel any particular kind of way. I warned you. But shout out to Miss K. Grace. Appreciate the love. Shout out to Mr. Lockwood. Appreciate you becoming a member. Man, it has been an extremely interesting evening. A lot of good calls tonight, man. And this is why, I think these conversations are important. They say, no, don't talk about this and don't talk about that. Don't say this and don't say that. But I think when you can go out and really have open discussions about certain things, and people can share, their perspective and their story and why they feel the way that they do, it provides understanding. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have. We're all in our own little, let me be in general, like here in America, we're all in our own little bubble. And we don't realize, like, hey, you know what? I'm not the only person with problems. Everybody has issues. And I mean, if you don't discuss the things, you don't know. But it's been some conversations that we've had, and it's just like, wow, man, you got to commend people for, skip that. For being successful, even though, why is this not? Oh, okay, that's why they was doing that. For continuing to do what they do. I'm sorry about that. All right. What? Okay, what's the motherfucking deal who we have calling in to the den this evening?
Oh, I didn't even know you were off yet. I just had to turn the volume. I forgot what I was going to say. What is the topic?
We were asking...
Who am I? What's my name? What year is this?
we were in 2027.
Okay.
We just got off the line. No, but what are your thoughts on this topic this evening, Ms. Grace? Is it a stereotype or black moms bad moms? Is it just what we see? Because that's what gets put on video. Why would a mother be jealous of a daughter if that is? I mean, there's so many different questions. I mean, what would you like to speak on the topic?
Yeah, it's definitely not a stereotype. You know what I mean? Because we can look around and see that it is what it is.
Yes.
You mean they say that almost 80% of the black households are single-parent households, predominantly women. So it is what it is. And any child that has to live in a single-parent household, you mean they lack economic, educational benefits, whether it be formally or informally, health benefits, other advantages, all of those things they miss out, they lack. You mean the things that the two-parent households are able to give their kids. But when this happens, they often blame the woman, and you can't blame just the woman because it's either black fathers aren't asking for the black woman's hand in marriage, or neither is anybody else. Even the Chinese, this is what they expect of us. When my sister worked for the airliner, she said when you go over to China, they think that black people can't be couples. So they take pictures of us and they point fingers. You hear about it. You mean we're a joke. So it's basically, it's not just the black women. You mean the black men, because they're not asking for the hands in marriage. And even if a woman has a baby when she's young and doesn't get married at that young age, you mean a man can still be involved in his kid's life, whether he's married to her or not. Because more often than not, if he's a decent human being and he's not doing fuck shit out in the streets, she will let him come around his kid. You mean? So if a man doesn't bother with his children or his child, that's his choice. More often than not, that's his choice. If a woman tells you that you can't see your kids, go to court. They'll fight for everything else. Go to court. You mean? And fight to see your kids. You know what I mean? But there's no excuse for a man no good excuse, I'll put it to you that way, for a man not being involved in his kid's life. And you can just look around even at rich guys, particularly black rich guys that don't want to pay child support. I remember there was a reality show on, and it was a football player by the name of Crybaby, that's what I call him, Crybaby Terrell Owens.
What?
The football player.
What?
That freaking guy was on TV busting snot all the time. He had a little boy, out of wedlock, and he didn't want to pay child support. He was crying boogers and snots because he just didn't want to. He was one of them. I haven't liked that guy since then with his big old head that must look funny on a white pillowcase. That goddamn head.
Terrell Owens is one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, they say he was a great football player, but he sucked as a father. Now he's involved in kids' lives, but he was awful. He was crying because he just didn't want to pay the child support. He didn't feel like it. So even men that make plenty of money, or even black men, they don't want to pay child support for their children.
But do you think some of that celebrity child support can get excessive? It can be so much. Can you blame? Do you think there should be a cap on how much child support someone pays?
Well, they shouldn't not pay anything.
No, of course they should pay. I think
And,
everybody should have to pay that
and
stuff.
some of it is a lot. It can be an awful lot. You mean, but give something.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, absolutely.
Don't underpay child support at all.
Yeah, if
You
you're
know,
not, if you're
give
not paying,
something.
if you're not a part, you're a piece of shit. If you're not a part of your kids.
Yeah, exactly. You're a piece of shit. Homemade shit. That's what you are. Homemade shit, as my father would call people like that. Homemade, from scratch. You know. But my thing is also, any child, all any child really needs is one good parent, just one. Because I came up with my own 3 scenarios for the nucleus family. You know, not going out with the extended family. Kids can have 2 good parents. That's the best of everything. Okay, if they have 2 good parents. And then they can have 1 good parent and 1 bad parent. You know, that good parent can override everything and make the best decisions for that child. And then some kids have 2 parents that are married or whatever, that are involved in their lives or married, and they're 2 assholes. You mean, and that's the worst case scenario. But all a child needs, the best scenario is 2 good parents. The next one is at least 1 good parent. And then you don't want a kid to be born to or have to live with 2 asshole parents. Correct. Because they make terrible decisions. You know what I mean? And then the kids end up playing, even with 1 good and 1 bad parent, the kids play one parent against the other. Yeah. You know, but some people just like to stay together for the kids or whatever. Yeah, you know, but
kids are crafty with the whole good parent, bad parent thing. They're very crafty, and they're smarter than we want to give them credit for.
Oh, I told you how I was. Not that there was 1 good, 1 bad. I was a cock blocker. I was a cock blocking little bitch. Yes, I was. I was everything to my father. My mother couldn't stand it until she did. She messed up the relationship that I had with my father as we got older because she wanted it to be about her. It was all about me. You saw the picture of me with the little silk pajamas and the fur and all that other stuff. I got anything I wanted. When he bought me expensive dresses, as soon as he left, my mother would take it back to the store, get the money for it, and buy everybody a cheaper dress.
Oh, that ain't fair.
You know, so,
I mean,
yeah, and I
it actually is fair, but it's not fair.
It was my birthday.
Yeah, no, well, you're definitely not fair if it's your birthday. Then.
Yeah, it was my birthday. You know, he let me go buy. My mother said, it's too much money. I went down to an expensive store, got an expensive dress, but it was always things like that. I always had the most. You mean but he did for all 3 of us, but I was his oldest daughter, and then he did for all of the other kids because he got with my mother when she had 4 kids already, and then she had 3 with him. But, you know, that's about it that I have to say. I can't even think of anything else to say. You know, I was on hold for so long. But, no, it is what it is. And as far as that video with that mother and daughter shouting at each other, that's depending on where they are on the socioeconomic ladder. You know, working for the public school system, yeah, you see ignorant mothers with ignorant kids. You know, and I told you, I keep saying that people lie like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, the parents are lying, the kids are lying, they're all jacked up. You know what I mean? But it's where they are on the socioeconomic ladder. And when the child is screaming like that, the mother was screaming, but even with a girl screaming like that, that's how they resolve problems in life. Those are the ones that go into Popeye's Chicken and fight for the chicken sandwich that they didn't make. And they didn't even work to buy to even pay for the chicken sandwich. Those are the ones that get up there and fight over dumb things and screaming and hollering and yelling. They don't know how to resolve conflict. You know, they're just screaming and they're out of control. You know, but the mother taught her that. But these guys need to, like I said, if you run into a woman, you need to look at, or a man, you know, is he a decent human being? You try to make your best estimation as you can. You know, some people do change. They get involved in things. And when you're raising children, like I'm a single parent, and I don't trip. When I see people in here, I look in the chat where they talk about all these single mothers are no good. But I know they're not talking about me.
Correct.
I mean, so I don't trip. You mean the best that you can hope to do is to raise a good human being so that they can make the proper decisions and they have good common sense. You know what I mean? So that they can be economically sound and they can get their education, you know, and they can do all of those, and they have good morals. You mean just raise a good human being. You mean I don't care about if they get how many degrees they get. You mean how much money they make. You mean the number one thing, I just want to raise good human beings. The end. That's first and foremost and the most important thing to me, because that's the most important thing. You know it is, Honcho, when I meet people out there. Are they a good human being?
Yes. Yes.
You know, but
I got a question for you. Well, let me make sure I deflect all blame. John has a question for you, Miss Grace, and he asks.
Okay, I wasn't even looking. What do you want?
He says, "Have you and your daughter ever fought over a man?"
Heck no. I got to punch John in the face for even asking a dumb question like that. Never, absolutely not. No, not at all. I can't even imagine. I'm trying to think. Has my daughter and I ever fought? She tried to do things her way. Like I said, the girl was much more challenging. Like my mother said, she wished we were all boys. In middle school and then high school, she was a bit more challenging, so I would get angry at her, but that was it. You know what I mean? I pull rank, and she understands, and my kids understand that I rule. Yes. And I rule with an iron fist. My kids don't even swear around me. I didn't swear around my mother. My kids would never disrespect an adult, any of those things. They're not allowed to. You have a problem with an adult, you come and tell me. Because I remember she had a little boyfriend in middle school from New York, and she broke up with him. And I was sitting in the kitchen. This was sewing years back. And I guess she went to the mall, and she ran into the mother, and the mother grabbed my daughter by the arm because my daughter broke up with her boyfriend. So my daughter went to the payphone, because that's what they had back then, and she called me up, and I dropped everything and ran right up there. I was all in and out those stores looking for that woman. She wasn't there. So then I went down to her house. She was from New York. You know what I mean? And this is what you hear when you're from a small town. You often hear things. I'm from New York. I don't give a shit where you're from. You know what I mean? You don't touch my child. You have a problem with her, you call me. And she stayed hiding in the house. Miss Tough, New York, from the Bronx. She said she wouldn't come out that door. She was peeking out the windows and things, but she wouldn't come out the house. Don't touch her. My daughter knew enough to call me because she couldn't be up there trying to fight with a woman or arguing with a grown woman or anything like that there, because they know better. They better not do it. Case closed, the end. Better not ever do it. So no, John, we've never fought over a man. We've never fought. She was more challenging. And I hope she don't mind if I say this, and she's probably in the chat. When she was in middle school? No, high school. She got arrested once.
Say it ain't
so. Can you believe that? Yes, it is. She was at Vogue, and she had this little boyfriend, and she bought him a little headband with a little Nike symbol on it. It was it wasn't even a real Nike thing. And they broke up, and he was walking down the hall with a new girlfriend wearing the Nike headband that she had bought. But she went nuts, and she snatched that Nike thing off his head. And so my nephew Tucker came home. It was Thanksgiving Eve, and I told my kids, if you ever get arrested, don't call me. I'm not even playing. Don't call me. And he said, Dable, her nickname, Dable, at the station. Now, station means gas station. I see you mean, because she had a black BMW, a 318i. And she wanted that, but it was, like I said, it was more in the driveway than it was working, but she wanted it. He said, Dable, at the station. I said, you mean that car was acting up again? She's at the, you mean the station, like the gas station? So what happened with the car? He says, no, the police station. But you know what? She called my niece, and my niece went and got her out, and her and all her friends, they had to go to court. They had to pay a fine because David jumped in their little 318i, and chased him around and things like that there, and there was a big fight outside the park. Well, as good as she is now, but she was much more challenging, but she knew better. Don't call me. She snatched it off his head. But she was all proud when she came when my niece went and bailed her out. She came in and she had that little headband with a little Nike symbol on it. Hey, she wasn't walking.
Hey, you came out with what you went for. That's not. Hey, at least you came back with it. That's a win. Maybe it was all worth it.
It was like a trophy to her. Yeah. She got it. But you know what? She had to learn a lesson. She had 2 jobs. She had to pick up another little job. She worked at the sneaker place at the mall, and then the express store at the mall, and then there was the telephone store or something. She had to work all those hours, and she had to pay her little fines. She had to go to court. She had to pay all her little fines and everything on her own, and she'll tell everybody, I learned my lesson. My mother made me pay. I wasn't paying. She wasn't getting 50 cents from me. She had to work, and she had to pay, and that's what her money went on.
Oh, that's tough. That's definitely the fastest way to learn a lesson. Have to pay your own fines when you start paying your own bills and fees and things like that as a youth. It definitely leaves a mark.
Yeah. So she learned. No more problems out of her at all. That's it.
And
That's it.
Mr. Keith says, what it do?
He said, "What? That Mr. Keith? Okay, we need to have a powwow on this den. Yeah, we need to have a powwow because some things I just I'm trying to see. Is my daughter still in the chat? I'm going to ask some questions. Do you mind, Honcho, real quick?
Go for it. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Ask away.
Marlo, you in? Let's see. Can she hear me on here? I'm trying to see if she's on. I want her if she says yes. I got to see.
I didn't see her reply to anything you said about her getting arrested, so I don't know.
Okay. M. Grace, if you're on here, say, I'm here, Mom. I guess not, because I was going to ask her some questions. Josh said M. Grace backed out of the den when you called in. Now she doesn't talk about stuff. So I was going to ask her some questions. Yep. But that'll be it. You know, we'll just have that little powwow at some other time so she can answer some questions about me, and then we'll see. Listen, John, I'm here, Mommy. He's so dumb. That's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to get look at, don't call Miss Gray, this Sarah. Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess she must have gone to sleep or something. But I'm going to call another day and have my little powwow, Mister.
I'm going to be looking forward to it. One day we will have to collaborate. We will convince Miss M. Grace to call in and speak one day. I don't know what it's going to take. But we'll
I wonder if I doubt it. But you never know. You never know. Okay, but everyone have a good night, and I'm done because I almost hung up and just went to sleep.
Oh, it's terrible. Well, I'm glad that you didn't. So
okay.
Well, Ms. K. Grace, I thank you for calling and sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
No problem. Thank you, Honcho. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So we're about to wrap it up. Yeah, I got an extended den tonight. Look, tonight was almost a 3-hour den. Normally I don't do this, but keep the party going. Man, some interesting things came up tonight that I am definitely going to want to talk about in the near future. It's a lot going on. So, I'm getting ready to wrap it up and take my ass to bed, go to sleep like I fucking need to be. Man, I fucks with y'all, man, and the reason why is because I'm a person that likes to hear real stuff. I like to be around genuine people, real people. And just in the den, man, it's like people let their hair down, I guess. I guess that's the saying. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But, man, I really do. I really do enjoy chopping up with you guys every night. And just, it's always something new. It's always in some interesting element. Maybe just but it's something that generally happens almost every night, usually. Especially when the topics are, a little bit more, when let's just say controversial, but when they're a little bit more interesting. And you just get to talking with people, and they share, aspects and elements of their lives. And it just makes you, what's the saying, walk a mile in another man's shoes. And as the Don of the Discourse says, and after that, just keep your shoes, because you're already a mile away. So you got a new pair of shoes. But, no, man, and it's good to just get some perspective, to know what y'all have been through and just to hear your story, and the fact that somehow, some way, through whatever pathway we've gotten here, we all come together in this one virtual space, and we just communicate. It's just it's a beautiful community. The Discord is a beautiful thing, man. I think y'all are all wonderful people. And I mean, everybody has their flaws. We're not perfect. I got some questions about Ronald Isley probably, but everybody else is pretty good. But outside of that, man, all bullshit to the side, man, I fucks with y'all. I appreciate y'all. And Heidi, I already know you've donated to their GoFundMe, because there is a guaranteed GoFundMe, and if they are not close to it, they will be millionaires if they walk free. I almost to it. Almost guarantee it. But Y'all can see I'm quite the tires, and so I hate to drift off on y'all, man. But I think y'all are wonderful, man. I really do, man. I just appreciate y'all being here. I hope y'all enjoy it as much as I do, man. And as I always say, I truly do mean it when I say it, that it is my honor, it is my privilege, but most of all, it truly is my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every night. And we'll be back at it tomorrow. I can't make any promises, but I'm going to try. To squeeze a date in somewhere. Like I said, I have no promise. I'm going to try to. And eventually to record some actual videos, but we'll get there. But with that being said, I'm trying to reduce y'all. Be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all ain't got to go home. If y'all want to slide in the Discord, I might be in there for a few minutes, but I probably ain't going to be on there very long. I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. So, yeah, that's not going to happen tomorrow. But, yes, I'm already ready to file the papers. The Honcho word like that. Yes, Mr. Sarah. I already have the paperwork on deck. But yes, good night to you all. I appreciate y'all, man. Let me get up out of here before I start talking real crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna slide to the Discord after this for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm out.